Hello everyone, the Kentucky Patriot here. We're out on the range today. Got me a new shirt. They're flying off the shelves at all your major retail stores, Cabela's, Bass Pro, Walmart. Everywhere they're sold, they're going like hotcakes. I'm kidding, as you know. My wife got a silhouette for Christmas, and she made me this shirt. So for the range today, so we're out on the range. I've got me some help today, and we're just going to look at a 410 for home defense, and I'll explain more about it later and talk to you more about it. But today we've got 5 jugs of water like we always do. I know the FBI says 4 layers of denim. We just got a couple layers of denim, so you know, we're just hillbillies. We're not scientific. Just going to try to give you an idea of whether or not a 410 would be sufficient for self-protection or home defense. My wife let me borrow her 410 for this video, and we're just probably about 10 or 12 feet away. Just typical close, close quarters, home defense distance. I know some people say it's farther or closer, so we're just average distance here, and we're just going to shoot it through this denim. This I think it's a 1/5 ounce slug into this denim and water jugs, and we'll see what happens. I think the velocity on it was like 1,800 feet a second, so we'll see if this would be sufficient for home defense. This is the denim. Of course, you can see the holes. Went right through the denim, and it completely destroyed the first jug. Just completely destroyed the jug. And I know this isn't the exact replica of of an intruder with, but what we do is just try to basically represent clothing, and then water. A human is mostly water, so this is a good representation of. It's not perfect, but it does kind of give you a good idea. And it absolutely destroyed the first the jug, as you can see. And here's the second jug, and it hit it, and it busted it open. And I'm going to dump it out here, and you can see, but this slug has fragmented in here everywhere. So it's got pretty good initial force, but the penetration it was good as we'd like to see. The FBI in ballistics gel, they like 12 to 18 inch for self-defense, like handguns or self-protection, and I don't think we'd get that penetration out of a 410 slug. I don't have any the clear ballistics gel or the ordnance gel, but in these water jugs, you can see it didn't do a whole lot of deep penetration. So when you add clothing and maybe a jacket or stuff, penetration becomes an issue. Now, if you're just shooting and somebody has like a light t-shirt on, it's going to be not near as important as if they have a Carhartt. It's winter time, so you want that penetration. But it does have some fragments in here. I'm going to dig these out, and we'll take a look at them. So we shot the first jug, and it completely pulverized it. The second jug, we recovered these fragments. Me and the kids, as you can see, it did not hold together at all. It just completely just fragmented and blew apart, and this is what we recovered. I didn't weigh the grains before and after, but there you go, John, you have one of those. But you can see these fragments here. So it did not hold together, and we didn't get the penetration that we wanted or would like to see for a home defense round. We got the little Kentucky Patriot here, and he wants to blow up some water jugs too. So, you ready, buddy? Yeah. Go ahead and pull the trigger whenever you're ready.
Over here a little bit.
Yep.
You can shoot it.
Pull the trigger whenever you're ready. Whoa! Good. Hello, everyone. This may be kind of a little bit of an unusual topic, a 410 for home defense. But I specifically wanted to make a video on this topic, and it's not that I'm recommending a 410 or I think that's the best choice that you can make, but I think it's a choice that a lot of people have available to them. I mean, it's my first gun when I was a child. It was a 410 shotgun. It's what I first went squirrel hunting with, and like I said, I'm not recommending this for home defense, but this may be the only option some people have. If you're a young couple that just got married, maybe you've got student loans, and you got a house payment. Maybe you just have a young child on the way, or maybe you just had a young child, and you can afford to go out and pay a lot for an AR or a big frame revolver. So that this may be a gun that you had since you've been a child, or your grandpa gave to you years ago, or whatever. But some people, this may be the only option that they have. Now, what I would recommend is as quickly as you can, save up and get you a shotgun, like a 12 or 20 gauge. You can save up and get like a Mossberg, a good quality Mossberg for really is pretty inexpensive. So I would recommend save up. But until you can save up, if a 410 is your only option, as you've seen at the range, this is what we were shooting. It was a 410, 2.5 inch, 1/5 ounce hollow point slug. Now the velocity is 1,830 feet per second. It's the advertised velocity. That's extremely fast from a bullet that big. It really is. Even if it's a 410, we think if it's a small. I was kind of disappointed in the way the slug totally just disintegrated. It did not hold. It just fell in pieces. It fragmented as you had seen. But if this is your only option, now what I've always said and told it in videos is about reloading under stress. I do not recommend loading under stress. I know Mossberg, I think it is, or one of them makes a pump 410. But in general, most 410s, as you well know, is just a single load, single shot. The barrel breaks down, you put in one at a time. So that's not the optimal decision when you're under stress trying to reload. But if that's the only option you have, then you're going to have to have the ammo setting up where you don't fumble with it, where you have it turned a certain way, ever how you decide to do it, but you don't want to be fumbling with it and putting it in backwards. You say, well, anybody knows how to put it in. I won't put it in backwards again. If you're in a dead sleep and wake up in the middle of the night or scared and it's dark, you've got to have everything working smoothly and be able to reload that if the need would arise. But they're very reliable. Like the one my wife's got, it's got a hammer, and but it's just a single shot, so you only get one shot. Now, I wanted to make this with a slug because a slug is the only thing that I would use or recommend on a 410, and I'll tell you why. And please don't think that I'm talking about anybody's channel. That you know us, if you've watched our videos by now, that we certainly aren't out to harm anyone or discredit anyone. That's not what we're about. That's not what we're wanting to do. But I would like to say this. There's a gentleman, and if you know who I'm talking about, please don't leave his name in the comments, because I actually like the guy. I've never met the man, but he's got a training school, and I believe he's a young man. I believe he's honest, he's sincere, he tries to help people. But I was watching his video, and he was talking about 12 and 20 gauge shotguns, and he said never use birdshot because birdshot is ineffective. And I don't think he was trying to mislead anyone. I don't think he was trying to make a profit off of misleading you. I don't think that at all. I think that's honestly what he thought. But if you've watched this channel, you know by trade, I'm a funeral director and embalmer. That's what I do for a living. I do other things on the side, but that's my profession. And I've been an embalmer for years now, and worked in the funeral industry. And unfortunately, I have seen shootings. I'm not going to be too graphic, but I have seen shootings with birdshot out of a 12 gauge shotgun. And now most people have not had that experience, and it's unfortunate, but I've had that experience. And most people are just giving you what they've seen in ballistic shell and water jugs, and that's a great indicator, but that's not the end-all tell-all. Unfortunately, I've actually seen 12 gauge birdshot on human subjects. And when we talk about the bowling pin area, the target's the bowling pin area. That's what we try to aim for, but I've seen more than one individual shot. Not what you call in, the aim, the center mass, the target that we want to hit, that we call shot placement. I've seen shots outside of that shot placement that totally neutralize the threat. And even large threats didn't make it. I don't mean a day or two later, I mean just a few feet. So birdshot is very effective in a 12 gauge shotgun. Don't let anybody tell you it's not in home defense. And it's actually a great option because it won't, if you live in close quarters, if you got neighbors close by and you're afraid of over-penetration of an AR or a slug or buckshot, birdshot is very effective at close range, but doesn't have near the over-penetration worries. Any firearm, you got to worry about over-penetration, but it didn't have near the penetration worries as your other options would be. And we're not talking long range. We're not talking, football field, we're talking close quarters, inside your home. I'm telling you, from experience, my own eyes have seen, birdshot, close quarters is very effective. Now, that's with a 12 or maybe even a 20 gauge. Now, when you go on down to a 410, I do not recommend birdshot at all. And the reason being, it's fine if you go squirrel hunting. You know that when you was a kid. I'm sure that's the first gun you had too. Some people start 20 gauge, but most people around here all had 410s. But the 410 does not have the velocity. It does not have the pellets. It does not have the power. Not saying that it's not lethal. You got to treat it as any firearm. You want to be safe with it. But what I'm telling you is I would not recommend birdshot out of a 410 for home defense in the 410 shotgun like we were shooting at the range. Let alone when these little small pistols, the Judge with a little, or the Governor that has a small barrel. I do not recommend birdshot out of them. And you've heard it, I've heard, we've all heard it. People use those and say, well, I don't have to aim. And that's just about true. Now with a shotgun, you have to aim. But we have took it to the range. My uncle had a Judge, and we had the 410 my wife had. And when my wife shot out of her 410 barrel, we were getting patterns like this. My uncle shot with and of course I shot it too, the 410 with the Judge, and it covered the whole hillside just about. It was plumb off the target. It had a huge pattern. So it's true, you could probably shoot down a hallway and not miss, but in not missing, if they just get hit 1 or 2 pellets, it's not going to neutralize the threat. So even with the longer barrel like the 410, I do not recommend the shotgun. I do not recommend birdshot, and especially if you have the Judge. Now the Judge is great if you're going on a 4-wheeler ride and for pest control or snakes, then that's fine. And I'm not knocking the Governor or the Judge, but I'm telling you for home defense, and I've had a lot of people tell me that, well, you can't miss with this, but even if you do hit with that, I'm afraid it's going to be ineffective if they don't have enough velocity and speed. Now that short barrel, you're going to get even less than you would out of the shotgun. And now the buckshot and stuff, that'd be totally up to you. You can experience with it, and you can see how that works for you. But again, I would recommend saving up and buying a bigger caliber. But a 410 is all that you've got. That's up to you about the buckshot or the slug. But I would recommend one of those two, and definitely not the birdshot. Because like I said, birdshot is great with the bigger calibers, gauge. I'm sorry, not calibers, gauge. Shotguns, but not on a 410 for home defense, in my opinion. But on the slug, like I said, like I said, this is just a Winchester. I'm not knocking them. I'm not recommending them. You can get other brands, but and they even make defense of rounds. But I was kind of disappointed in the way that it fragmented. But this is just something I just wanted to let everybody see, because it does have good velocity and a good initial impact. But like I said, the penetration, as you see in the videos, it isn't as good as I'd like to see for home defense. But if this is all you've got, then this is all you got, and you need to train with it and be able to reload. Like I said, I don't like to recommend reloads, but if you have this as your only option, then you're going to have to be able to work with the hand that you have dealt to you. So if you shoot, God forbid, but somebody breaks your hand and you shoot a shot, you're going to have to be able to reload and reload fluently with this. And I hope this helps you. And like I said, we didn't have no scientific, great, range equipment. We just had water jugs, but water jugs do tell, a pretty good tale. But like I said, don't let anybody tell you from experience that 12 gauge isn't a viable option with birdshot in home defense, because it certainly is. But like I said, we had fun at the range. I've got some more videos hopefully coming soon. I appreciate everybody that watches these videos, and I hope it helps you. So if you have a 410, this may be something to think about. And if you never had a 410, or you never want to use this for home defense, maybe you just got an enjoyment out of watching us blow up water bottles. But the kids had a good time. I had a good time, and I hope this helps you. May God bless you. The Kentucky Patriot, signing off. This is just a little bonus footage. I just had this up here, and I've never really done any ballistics testing with this at all, or really, I've maybe practiced with it a little bit, but never shot water or anything. And this is not my everyday carry, but if you see my other videos, there is times I'll slip it in my pocket, or a lot of times I'll carry it with another gun as a backup gun. Now, some people may be able to shoot these accurately. I am not one of them. I don't shoot very well with this at all, so I'm moving up even closer. I'm going to get about 6 feet with this because it's just got a front sight, no really real rear sight, just a little notch. So, but this is pretty much a close-up gun, you know, close confrontation anyway. So I'm going to put, I got a Hornady and a CCI. This is a 22 Magnum from North American Arms. Let's just see what this does in a couple layers of denim and some water jugs. I'm gonna fire 2 shots. Pretty impressive results. To be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised with the short barrel. You don't a lot of times get the velocity out of your ammunition as you would a rifle or a longer barrel pistol. I've showed you this pistol, just a little tiny barrel. But if you'll look, I only put 3 water jugs because I did not think it would penetrate 3 water jugs. I was going to actually get the fragments and retain them like I did with the slug. But it went through all 3 of them, and it actually, of course, I shot twice, but you can see the entry points here. It's kind of small, but they come right through. Here's the second one. And then here's the last one, and you can see 2 exit holes. And so I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the results from that little pistol. It surprised me. You learn something new every day, but I did not think it would penetrate through 3 water jugs, but it sure did. And so, now, like I said, accuracy, maybe you can shoot it good, I can't. I'm not a bit accurate with this, but for a backup gun, or when you have to have a you know, something that you normally couldn't carry your regular size gun, this may be a little more viable option than I even give it credit for. But I'm sure glad to have my buddies here today. Glad to be on the range at springtime, and we're gonna go back to the house, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the results today and the slug for home defense. But my wife's got a baby shower, she's got to go. But hopefully get back to the range. I've got a few more ideas. We're gonna try to shoot a little more, hopefully before long, now that we've got pretty weather. So we appreciate the time we had at the range today. Hope you enjoyed the 410 and the 22 Magnum demonstration. I didn't think that we recovered any of the bullets from the 22 Magnum that we shot, but there was 2 holes in the back, but one must have penetrated the jug just a little bit, because we did recover the Hornady with the red tip, but we did not recover the CCI. So what I want to do is, we got 6 jugs now with the 2 layers of denim. We use 2 layers of denim each time, and we're going to try it again. Really, I'm probably 5-6 feet away, really close distance, but I'm going to see what the penetration will be with the CCI. Now the Hornady did not expand, and a lot of times, even with hollow points, you do not get expansion out of a short little barrel like this. They're made for more like rifle to get the velocity they need to expand. But we're going to try it one more time, and we'll try to recover these bullets. Let's see what we get. Make sure my little girl's got her ears on. Ready, babe?
Yep.
The first time we shot, the CCI went through all 3 jugs of water. We recovered the Hornady. This time they both stopped in the 3 gallons, and even though I knocked the denim off with the first shot, they are in, they both stopped in the 3rd jug of the gallon of water. And if you can come here a little bit closer, you'll see my little girl here. These are the Hornady. You can see the red tip. This is the CCI. They did not expand at all. The penetration was good, but you're not getting expansion, so basically you're just poking holes. But it's still, you got good penetration, and to have a small gun with you is better than a big gun you leave at home. So we'll get back to the house, and we'll talk a little bit more. But we sure enjoyed the day. It's a beautiful day, like 65, 70 degrees. We're so happy it spring's here. Thankful for my little helpers. They came out to the range with me today, and it's amazing how you get different results. You stuck in the 3rd jug on the first shot, it went on through, and the second time both of them stayed in there. So we'll get back to the house, and glad for our day, and glad for my little helpers. May God bless you.